Baldwin from Danville Food Stock and Food Stock Charities. Today we're going to look at ramen noodles, how we can dress them up using leftovers and salad vegetables that are already in the refrigerator so that you can have a very inexpensive meal but still very nutritious and very tasty. Now to start out with, I'm talking about just your basic ramen noodles. They run about 15-20 cents a pack in the grocery stores if you buy them in bulk. Okay, now that's the same pot that I did the noodles in. I just poured out the water, put the noodles in a bowl, and now I'm going to add 1 can of Swanson broth. Okay, before we get to work, let me show you what we've got. I've got part of a yellow bell pepper, a few carrots, a couple of stalks of broccoli. Here's a few spinach leaves. Over here we have nice fresh green onions that somebody brought me. Here's cilantro out of the salsa garden. Nice thing about cilantro is that when you first buy it, you can already start picking it. I have an egg, some leftover meatloaf, and some leftover pork loin. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my garlic, and I'm using minced garlic because I want to have the pieces floating in the soup. I want to have some nice stuff floating around so it looks pretty. So just a little bit of garlic. At the same time, I'm going to take my cilantro, and all you do is just pinch off your leaves. No big deal. You can put full leaves in, or you can chop them. Today I'm just going to tear them. We're also going to take just a little bit of lime juice, just a couple of drops. And a little bit of sea salt. Not much. While our broth is heating up, let's work on our vegetables first. First thing I've got here is just a few leaves of spinach. And this is a way to get your kids to eat vegetables they normally wouldn't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slice these nice and thin. Oh great, phone! Okay, now that the message machine is picked up, back to work. We've got the spinach in the pot. Now what I'm going to do is take 4 little baby carrots, and you can use regular sized carrots, and I'm going to attempt to do something that professional chefs do. And I'm going to trim these pieces so that in the pot they will all be exactly the same size. The pieces you've sliced, the little planks, now we're going to slice them again. The nice thing about this is that if you let your broth steep for a little while, these are all going to get nice and soft and have nice colors in the soup. A lot of nutrition out of just a very few leftover vegetables. And you can customize. Try a few different things. You find out what you really like most. You're good to go. Okay. So now, a little bit of carrot in the pot. Next thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of my pepper. You want to always trim your little white pith on the inside because that's kind of bitter. Now you can see from my knife technique, folks, I'm not a pro. I'm just somebody who likes to cook and would rather eat something that tastes good than tastes bland. Pepper's in the pot. I'll also mention that a lot of times I won't do all of the different things I'm doing today. I'm just showing you options. Green onion. It's not all that hard to slice them on a diagonal. And you may have noticed in the Oriental restaurants, the Asian restaurants, that they do use some of the green. So I'm going to go ahead and cut down into that. Okay. Into the pot with the green onions. Moving on. If you do the broccoli, cut way up on the stalk, and automatically you can just break it down into little sprigs. I have found that it's easier to get kids to eat broccoli like this than when it's on a big old stalk, because they feel like they're chewing on a tree. Okay, just a little broccoli. Now, let's talk about proteins. Here's what I got. This is leftover meatloaf. That's all it is. And if you're going to use that, very simple to just break it up into smaller pieces. And leave them kind of chunky. You know, give yourself a nice bite. See how easy that was? There's that. This is leftover pork tenderloin, and it was good. Oh my gosh. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it this way. Go ahead and leave that piece off. Take these two pieces . See how nice and even that is? So since today's junk soup, I'm going to use a little of that, and I'll go ahead and use a little of this. Okay. Now there are two ways to add an egg to your soup. The first way is to crack it into the broth when you begin, before you ever put the vegetables in. And then you break up the egg and stir it in, and that's how they make egg drops. Excuse me. That's how they make egg drop soup. I'm going to do it a little more rustic, and I'm going to crack this egg right into the center of that broth. Now it'll cook it. I just have to wait a couple of minutes. So there you have it. You can take a pack of ramen noodles or just a little bit of angel hair. Boil the noodles up. Look in your refrigerator and get some leftovers. Get a little leftover meat, doesn't matter what it is, seafood, chicken, beef, pork. You can use an egg, as I've shown you. For vegetables, you can use pretty much anything that's in there that you like. Just go ahead and chop it up and try it. For Danville Food Stock and Food Stock Charities, I'm Lane Baldwin. Peace.